Hi, my name is Jagdish. Today I'm going to show Puppet installation on Linux, that is CentOS image. And today's video lecture agenda is to install VMware Player and VMware Player on Windows or Mac operating system, and install CentOS on VMware, and installing and configuring Puppet Master and Agent. And also we can see how to authenticate our first agent with the master and example. So as part of the top agenda, first I'm going to start with the VMware Player installation. So to install VMware Player, you can just type the VMware Player on Google and you'll find the download location. The VMware Player is for personal usage. The VMware Player is free, so you can download and install VMware Player on either Windows machine, especially for Mac. There is the free trial available called the VMware Fusion. VMware Player. The VMware Player is the VMware workstation player here. So you can download this product and install it on your Windows platform. Those who are using a Mac operating system, they can install the VMware Fusion a trial version. It is not a free version for a personal use, so you have to download trial version and install it on your machine. So once you have the VMware Player installed on your machine, then we can go and install CentOS on the VMware Player. To install CentOS, first you need to download the CentOS image. So I'm going to download 6.7 ISO. So if you type CentOS 6.7 ISO, you can see the index of the images ISOs for CentOS. i386 is for 32-bit operating system. So if your system is 5 years old laptop, then most probably it has the 32-bit that 32-bit architecture. So if you have a latest version of a laptop, so then the system architecture is 64-bit. So if you go with this 64-bit, and you can download the image from any of these mirror links. So if you click this link, it will automatically download the image, which I already downloaded, so I'm not going to download it again. So once you have the image with you, so then we can go ahead and install the CentOS on VMware. To install it on the VMware player, so you can just go to file and create new virtual machine and go with a typical installation method. Here you go and select the downloaded CentOS. So if you select the dvd1.iso is the minimum installation you required for the CentOS. If you open this in the installation disk and click next, it will ask you for full name, username and password. Make sure you remember this password because this password is required for the next time log into your Linux system. So once you're done with, you can give a name for this system as Puppet Master or something like that. Puppet Master. This image I wanted to use it for a Puppet Master, and you can choose any path where you want to save this image on your local disk. So here you can go with the default configuration of the space, how much space you wanted to allocate for that virtual image, and that's it. So whenever you click finish, it will go into the OS installation step. So there you can go proceed with the default instructions. Once you're done with it, so you can see it will take 30 minutes to install the CentOS operating system on the virtual image. So once you have that image installed, the similar way you can follow and create the other image for CentOS Puppet agent. So we need two virtual images, two CentOS virtual images, one for Puppet Master and one for Puppet Agent. So when you install the operating system, so it will ask you to log into the system. So the password which you gave in the first step of installation, you can give the same password to log into the system. The same as for Puppet agent system. So I log into the Puppet 2 CentOS images. So you can open a terminal and see what's the IP address of the image. The IP address, you can copy this IP address, and now you need actually it's better to remotely access the CentOS. You need a remote the client application so that you can install a party. Go to party, so you can download and install a party software. So here you need to give the IP address of the system CentOS Puppet master IP address, the CentOS which I just logged in. And I just wanted for a better visualization, I'm going to change the font size. So this is my first image. The first image is CentOS master. So I logged into the CentOS master remotely using this party application. The same as if I log into the other image. This is the IP address for Puppet agent system. To differentiate master and agent, I'll change the appearance of the agent system to have the background as white color. Now you can see there are two remote connections, one for Puppet master and one for Puppet agent mission. So this is Puppet master, which has IP address. Yes, if you see IP address, 192.168.73.158. That is the IP address of the master system. So I connected to this two images using Puppet sessions. So that is our second step. The second step is to install CentOS on a VMware machine and connecting using remote client Puppet. And third step, we can see how to install Puppet master and agent on this CentOS images. So to install Puppet master and agent, I have prepared instruction document. I'll share these instructions with you. I'll share this link on the comment section of the video. So here you can say to install the Puppet, actually to install this Puppet master configuration, you need to you have to be a root user, or if you have a sudo permission, you can install using sudo command. But better, I'll go with a root user. If you use sudo, it will ask you for sudo password. So now I logged in as a root user. same as in case of Puppet agent. I logged in as a root user. So next, install Puppet repositories. The Puppet repositories are the yum repositories where all the collection of the softwares related to Puppet and its dependent packages are located. So if you want your yum tool to look into these repositories, you need to install these repositories first by following this instructions, so RPM installation method. So first I'm trying to install the Puppet master configuration. You see Puppet master configurations on Puppet master system. So if I do this installation, it will try to install the repository RPL images. So you can see it installed successfully the repositories. And next, host name configuration. I wanted to configure this Centos images with a proper naming term like domain naming. Like I wanted to give a name instead of an IP address. Like I wanted to make this Puppet master setup as a I wanted to give a name as master.example.com or something, whatever the meaningful name you wanted to assign it for the master. So the naming you can configure it in /etc sysconfig network. This file has a host name. You can change the host name of the system to something like in this example I wanted to name it as master.example.com. So once you save this file, you type host name, it won't get affected until you restart the network or reboot the system. So if you want to make this the name get affected immediately, so you can use the host name command with the domain name. Now you can see the host name is changed to master.example.com. And the second configuration is configuring agent and master names in host files. /etc host file contains the local domain name. So this or the directly name for your mapping your local domain name to your IP address. So for example, if my system name is my system IP address, local IP address is 127.0.0.1 is the local loopback address of master system or any Linux system. If I want to, this system also has a name as localhost. So if I want to make this system name as master.example.com, you have to append this to existing the local host. So I've added master.example.com here. In the similar way, so if you want to configure the host, if you want to configure host name for your agent system, so like instead of accessing your agent system with an IP address, you can tell this agent, you can tell the master, say tell the master that agent has some name like agent has agent.example.com. So for this IP address there is an associated name called agent.example.com. So whenever you ping agent.example.com, so that will connect to 192.168.73.159. So 73.159. This is the IP address of the agent. So now whenever you mention that particular domain name associated with an IP address, so then master can resolve the IP address based on this name by looking into this etc/host file. That's why we need to configure the host file for making these systems available with the naming, domain naming. So that is the second configuration step. And now if you configure successfully, you can able to ping to the agent system with the domain name agent.example.com. And now the fourth step is to install the packages. Packages here, I'm trying to install a Puppet and Puppet server. This Puppet is the Puppet client and Puppet server is the master server software, and Factor is the plugin tool for inventory. Like if you want to know about facts about a system, you need that tool Factor. So if you do yum install, so it will download and install these packages from the repositories which I configured in the first step. After the installation, the next step is to configure the firewall rules. The Puppet master runs on TCP port 8140. If you want if you want to allow agents to connect to your Puppet master, you have to enable this port for a particular subnet or for all. To do that, we need to add this rule dynamically using IP tables, or else you can configure it in a IP tables file. So we'll see in the we'll see the configuration of adding the IP table rules on a file. Okay, so it successfully installed the packages, Factor package, Puppet master, and Puppet client. And next, the firewall configuration. So you can add the firewall rule at the top most of the levels, actually the rules, because the firewall rules will start executing from the top to bottom fashion. So if it sees any reject rule, then it will not actually go forward. So that's why you need to add the rule, on top, actually top of the list. So the rule is to accept the port, destination port 8140 from any agent. In this example, TCP port 8140, and the rule is to accept. So if you add this and save this file, and once you save this file, it won't get affected until you restart the service IP tables restart. Service is restarted. You can see the command is service IP tables restart. And that's it for installation and configuration of firewall rule. Now to configure the Puppet master, you can go to this the Puppet configuration file, which is located under /etc Puppet. Puppet.conf. So here you can give the name whenever you request a certificate. So certificate name as a cert name, like as master.example.com. This is certificate name. So cert name is a variable with master.example.com under the main section. This is the main section. Under the main section, I've added cert name variable. That's it. So you can check, you can start a service, or you can check if the service is started or not using Puppet master, service Puppet master start. Okay, so if you check the status of master, Puppet is running. So we successfully installed and configured Puppet master, and the service also running. So the next step is to, so that's it on the Puppet master side. So now next we can go and install Puppet agent related configurations. So on the Puppet agent, the first step is to install the repositories. repositories are installed successfully, and the configuration of the host is similar to Puppet master, but whereas here you need to give a name of the agent. Agent.example.com. I wanted to give a name as agent.example.com. So once you change the name of the host, you need to make this affected immediately by using hostname command agent.example.com. So now if you see the hostname of the system is agent.example.com. Next, configuring the host file. Agent.example.com, and configuring a master IP address with associated domain name. So you can see this 192.168.73.158 is the master IP address. I wanted to associate name for that IP address as master.example.com. And if you want to check whether you have a reachability to a master system or not, by typing ping command with the name of the master. So you can see the ping is successful. So it means that you have a reachability from a agent system to master. Next, we're trying to actually I'm trying to install Puppet client and factor tool on agent system. You don't need Puppet master because Puppet master is already actually I installed on a master system. So I wanted to make this agent.example.com as a Puppet agent or Puppet client. So that's why I need just a client and a factor. Factor is a inventor actually tool for getting the facts about the system. So it is trying to download and install the dependency dependent softwares along with Puppet master, Puppet client and factor tool. The installation is completed. You can see the factor tool and Puppet client installed on the system. Next one is to configure the agent, Puppet agent. You can go and under the main section, the server, I wanted to configure it as master.example.com. That's it. So if you configure the Puppet master configuration file under the main section, if you define a variable server equal master configuration, so this agent can know that who is master in the environment. Now we are successfully able to install and configure Puppet master and agent. This step is done. We completed Puppet master and agent installation, and the next step is to authenticating our first agent. So if you want to add this agent to the master management zone, so how does my master know that which agents it has to manage? So that is done by authentication, certificate authentication mechanism. The certification in the certification authentication mechanism, the first thing which you need to do is requesting a certificate from a master connecting our first agent. You see, so we have completed the Puppet installation by following the instructions document. In the second part, you can see connecting our first agent. The Puppet client connects to the Puppet master by requesting a certificate using a command called puppet agent -- test and server equals to the server, the domain name, and wait for certification of 100 seconds. So, and if it requests a certificate, next thing is when you check on the master system for any waiting certificate like Puppet cert list, it will show all the list of waiting certificates on a master. Once if it finds any waiting certificate with the appropriate agent name like agent.example.com here, and Puppet master can sign that certificate using Puppet cert sign agent.example.com. So once the Puppet master signs this certificate, and Puppet agent can check the status of successful successful signing from a master, successful response from a master. So to first we can check is there any certificates waiting on a master or not. So if you see Puppet cert list, there are no there are no certificates waiting on master system because no agent has requested certificate yet. So we can request a certificate from an agent. Puppet agent test server equals to master.example.com. So this is the server which I'm trying to request, and wait for cert. How long it need to wait for a response? I wanted to wait for suppose 50 seconds here. So when I request a certificate, it will first try to create the certificate and it will request a master or the certificate signed. So when you type Puppet cert list, you can see there is a waiting certificate. So if I want to sign the certificate, you can type Puppet sign cert and agent.example.com. This is the certificate name. So master has successfully signed the certificate. So after 50 seconds of wait, agent should receive a response from a master, certificate response, saying that signed certificate. Perfect. So it received the certificate from a master. It successfully received the certificate without any error messages. So this is our first, at least second step of authenticating Puppet agent with a master. This is done. And the last step, we can see how to write a simple configuration on Puppet master to configure the agent system. So on the agent system, if you type emacs command, the emacs command not found. The emacs is a editor as like a notepad or VI editors. Emacs also a kind of editor in Linux. So Emacs package is not installed on Linux. If you check rpm-qa Emacs, so there is no package called Emacs. You didn't return anything, so empty. So command not found. So I'm trying to install, I will install this Emacs package using Puppet configuration. So to write any configuration on Puppet master, you can just go to /etc Puppet manifest directory. There are no files. Just open a file with a name called site.pp. So here I'm defining a configuration for agents package. I wanted to install a package, so that's why I've used a Puppet code type package. So I'm installing emacs editor. I'm trying to install emacs editor. Package name emacs. Ensure this package present on agent system. That's it. So this is a simple configuration to install a package, a specific package on an agent system. So to apply this configuration, so there is no actually package installed. To apply this configuration, to sync actually latest configuration from a master, you can type puppet agent -- test. This will request a master for any new configuration the agent has to apply. The master will compile all the latest configuration which it has to apply on the agent system, and it will send a response back to the agent system. Then agent will decide what need to do on that instructions. You can see the stage, the notice is stage main, the package installing Emacs editor, ensure created. Ensure created, the finished catalog run. So it applied some configuration. What configuration it had applied, you can check by typing Emacs editor. So you see, this is an editor, Emacs editor. So as like a VI or VIM editor, Emacs is also one editor. So even if you type rpm-qa Emacs, it will show what version of Emacs it installed. So by defining a configuration here, you can see a it installed a package on the agent system. This is a simple example of installing a package by defining the configuration on a master. So I hope this help you to configure and write a simple example of Puppet master configuration. Thank you.